Hello, everyone. I am hoping that this is going to record properly because I didn't set it up correctly. But welcome, everyone, to Wednesday's live stream. Today, we are going to be talking about slide presentations. And as you know, this month's theme is focused on AI tools that we can all use in order to be able to create content for our businesses. Someone submitted a request for me to evaluate, look at, check out a tool called Gamma.app, which I have never heard of before. And I opted to compare it to another tool that I tend to use a lot, which is called Beautiful.ai. So both of these fall under the category of AI slide presentation platforms. And so this is not going to be a tutorial on them, but it's going to be a review of both platforms and just a quick overview in terms of what my thoughts are on using both, why I use Beautiful.ai, if I plan to continue to use it versus Gamma, and then also I will share my thoughts on who I think both of these tools, platforms are best suited for. If you have any questions whatsoever in reference to anything that you see me do on camera or on screen, please post them in the chat. I will be periodically checking. And I also encourage you to use these tools if you are not already using them. So the first tool I am going to start with is going to be Beautiful.ai. So let me share my screen. So here we go. And I'm actually going to play this in the background. It's a commercial for, is it a commercial? Yeah, it's an ad for Beautiful.ai. But essentially, let me make this full screen. Essentially, Beautiful.ai I came across probably going back to like 2016, 2017-ish. And it is an AI platform that allows you to seamlessly and effortlessly create slide presentations. It's been my go-to slide presenter since then. I do not use PowerPoint anymore, and I have not tried any of these newer ones that have come out since Beautiful.ai. What I love about Beautiful.ai is the fact that it was designed by presenting or presenters or graphic people that specialized in creating PowerPoint presentations. And let's just replay this. And what I enjoyed about it is that it took the stress of trying to figure out how I was going to design each slide out of the issues. I didn't have any issues with that moving forward because it just took and removed the stress of trying to figure out exactly how I was going to design a slide. And it gave me guardrails in terms of how much text I could use or how many images I could import and things of that nature. So that was my main reason for wanting to use it. Gamma definitely is something that's slightly different, and I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. But let's get started with Beautiful.ai. So when you come into Beautiful.ai, you have a couple of options of things that you can do. You can create a template, or you can create a presentation using a template, or you can use it starting from blank and you just add each page, sort of similar to the way that you would do it in PowerPoint. But for today's evaluation between these two, we're going to generate with AI, which is the thing that really sets these two platforms apart from other non-AI slide presentation platforms. So you click on Generate with AI. So the first thing that it's going to ask you to do is you have to describe the topic of your presentation. Now, they do give you some example prompts that you can throw in here if you just want to test it out really quickly, or you can actually type in a prompt or a topic idea, title, if you will, of one that you want them to create from scratch. What I opted to do for today's example is I went into ChatGPT. I went into one of the extensions, excuse me, plugins for ChatGPT called Pro Prompter, and I asked it to sort of tweak a prompt for me. So I just wanted it to create a prompt that I could use for a presentation called The Power of Video in 2025 and Beyond. So it refined the prompt here. And this, I don't know how many total characters this is, but this exceeds 500 characters. So the difference between this and Gamma, and I'll come to Gamma later, is that in the section here, it doesn't have a max in terms of the number of characters that you can use. So literally you can copy this as is, and I'm just going to copy this and highlight it. So I'm going to copy, and then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to paste it in. So once it's in, you can then click on Generate Presentation. Now, before I get into this any deeper, I do want you to know that Beautiful.ai offers a free, I believe it's a 7-day free trial that you can use. Otherwise, if you go after or you go on beyond that, you are going to have to pay or sign up for either a monthly plan or an annual plan, but you can test it out for 7 days. So it automatically created 9 different slides for me. And this is, let me click here so that you can see what they all look like. So I typically don't use Generate from AI to create my presentations because I like to have a little bit more control, and I like there to be symmetry between one presentation to another. So I kind of, if you will, want to, it's built on a theme if you want, if that's how you would like to refer to it. So it automatically found the image. It automatically put in a title and a subtitle. And what I do not like when I do the generative AI is that it provides more text than images. And sometimes the images aren't really, they don't really display what I would want. So it's not going to be an image that I would typically select. And sometimes some of the imagery that it uses, like this is using a process diagram, may not be what I would use. Like this one's using comparison columns for this potential challenges piece. And then this one's a lot of text again. I typically don't do my presentations like this. I have a lot more interactivity going on in terms of I have images and sometimes I have videos instead of images because I like to have that moving capability. So that's what I would tend to do more often than not with a presentation like this. So I very rarely ever use the generative AI. So let me come back out and show you the way that I would typically do one. So this is a presentation that I have coming up next month. And it actually is a variation of one that I've done in the past. And I've added some more slides in it. So usually if I'm going to tweak anything, I'll go here so that you can see all of the slides. I'll usually tweak the images that I'm using. I might update depending on how long ago it was that I've done it. And then other than that, I may change the color scheme. This is built on my color theme, but I have multiple colors in my theme. So I might, this is more on the green aspects, but maybe I might want one that's more on the blue or the orange or the yellow, depending on what it is that I want to do. And So I may change and add some slides in this, or I may change just the formatting of things, the order that things are in. So that's mainly why I like to just do mine from using an existing template, even if it is a brand spanking new presentation that I might be doing. I'll still use a previous or an older one. I'll just duplicate it and then I'll swap out the slides from there. It's just easier for me. And I like the flow and the look of how my presentations are coming out based on the content that I'm using whenever I'm doing mine. So that's what I prefer. The other thing, I don't know if this one has videos. Yes, it does. So sometimes, like I mentioned, I like to use, if I'm going to have images, and this will go from presentation to presentation. Some I will have static images in, others I will swap out the static image for a moving image. And so again, that just makes it a little bit more interesting for my audience. Not that this is playing and has audio. So if any of you are looking at this and saying, well, I can't hear anything, it's not supposed to have audio on it. I specifically wanted it just for the moving capabilities, and I'm going to be talking over this in a presentation when I actually do it. And let me see if there is another. There is another presentation that I have where I will have, I'll do this one for the time being. This one, typically, when I play it in my presentations, it actually is supposed to be so that you can hear the audio. I'm not going to play it at this time, but you can see, hopefully you can see here that the speaker is open. So if I played it, you'll be able to hear what was on this particular slide. So there are some instances where I want to be able to do that. And then there's another feature. I'm not sure where I added this one. I don't think it's on here, but there is another feature. Let's just go here and I'll add it as a new slide. So I'm going to add in a new slide. And whenever you need to add in a slide, it gives you a template of, or a choice for templates of different ways that you can format that slide. So in the instance that I'm in right now, I'm looking for a slide so that I can insert a web page. So I'm going to scroll down until I can find that, and it's going to come here under impact slides, and you can see you can add in images, a photo grid, headline, word cloud, countdown, timer, video, which you've seen that I've done that, and then web view. So I'm going to insert web view, and in here it automatically populates with Beautiful.ai's website. But if you want to reset the URL, all you have to do is click there, and then I'm going to put this to my own website. And I'm going to actually put this to my course. So say, for example, in this particular presentation, I wanted to share with the viewers of this presentation my website. So I would have it in here, and then you can go to this wheel icon or gear icon, and you can decide whether you want it to be a full bleed, meaning it comes all the way to the edges, or not. That is totally up to you. And then you can scale it depending on how the website comes in. If you scaled it, let me see, like if it came in looking like that, then that meant that you needed to scale it down. So you could scale it there, for example. And then once you were on the web page, you could then scroll down so that everybody could see what was on your screen. So this is perfect if you ever want to share a website that you're talking about, whether it's something that you're just viewing, or if it's something that you want to share the contents of that particular website. In this instance, if it was me talking about my digital course, I would then be able to come in here and then just scroll using my mouse so that everyone on the call could see. And then if I wanted to click on something, I could also click And I don't know if this is going to open because this, let's see, it does not open. So I've not actually ever tried that before. Yeah. So the clickable capabilities don't work for it, but still you can actually see the website. So I think that that's pretty good. And then when you are finished with your presentation, and again, with this, all you would need to do is add your slide here and then choose what kind of slide you want. So if you needed to put in an agenda, you could select agenda, and then it gives you some ideas or a gallery for inspiration in terms of what do you want that agenda to look like to your audience. Do you want there to be an image and then bullet points? Do you want there to be icons? All of those different things you can certainly add in. And then so I have a question that I like to ask my audience. This was just an image. If you want to change the way that the slide looks, all you have to do is go above and say you want to switch the smart slide, and then it opens this up so that you can then switch it to whatever it is that you want to switch it to. Like I mentioned, this is not a tutorial. This is just a quick overview. So when you are finished with your presentation, you can present it just so that you can do a quick, let's see what this would look like if I had to present it. And you would just click on anywhere on the screen to go from slide to slide. And then let's hit escape. And then when you're ready, if you wanted to share this to your audience, if you wanted to do a public link, for example, you could do that. Or if you had other ways that you wanted to do it, you could go under options, additional options, and you can come here to export. And then you could export the presentation as an editable PowerPoint. So if you ultimately wanted to put this on PowerPoint, you can choose an editable PowerPoint. You can do it as a PowerPoint, which would basically just release each slide as an image. So it would be a PNG file. You can export to Google Slides. You can export as images as a PDF, or you could present online or offline, sorry. And I've used this multiple times. So you just have to download the player, say, for example, put it on your laptop, and you would be able to play it from there without having to connect to the internet. So that's what makes this feature really, really cool. So that's what you would be able to do with Beautiful.ai. I like the way that overall, the way that my presentations look. I like that it's very clean, professional looking. I never have text that's, coming out to the edges. Everything is in its own space, because if you do try to make the text too big, it's going to tell you it's too big and it can't be visible. So it makes sure that you could adhere, your presentations adhere to the rules and regulations when it comes to, if there's such a thing, when it comes to creating presentations so that they just look much more uniformed and they look beautiful. I mean, that's why they call it Beautiful.ai. So let's move on to the next one, which is going to be called Gamma. So let's play this as I talk about Gamma. Gamma, like I mentioned, is a platform I personally had never heard about, but I did do a reach out to my audience and ask them if there were any tools that were video related that they wanted me to feature in these lives that I was doing. And someone submitted a request for Gamma, and I had never heard of it. So I did a little bit of research and came upon understanding exactly what this particular platform does. And I wanted to compare it to Beautiful.ai, mainly because that is a presentation slide app that I use, and I wanted to really do a fair comparison or review of both. The difference between Gamma and Beautiful.ai, starting off right off the bat, is that Gamma does more than just slide presentations. There are some perks to it. There are some limitations to it. But at the end of the day, I would safely say they target two different audiences. So there might be some crossover, but I did enjoy using Gamma, and I look forward to sharing that with you now. So let's stop this. So, oh wait, nope, we're here. So let's go back here to home. So once you've created an account in Gamma, Gamma offers, unlike Beautiful.ai, Gamma offers a free version, and then you have the paid. There's a two-tiered paid version. So with the free version, they give you credits. So I believe they give you 400 credits. I actually didn't pay attention before I started using them, but I believe based on what I think I did, it's at least 400 credits that they gave you. For each presentation, roughly, you're going to be using 40 credits at a time, unless you then add and ask for more AI capabilities, and then it takes credits away from you for that. So right now I have 290 credits that are left. So when you want to get started, you would come here to create new AI. And again, just like Beautiful.ai, you can start from a blank. You can import a plain import where you're using text and images. You can upload a brand template, or you can enhance your content using AI through their import. But we're not gonna import and do any of that fancy stuff. We're just gonna come here to create with AI. Now this is where they're different than Beautiful. This is one of the ways or places where they're different from Beautiful.ai. In order for you to get started, they give you 3 ways that you can get started. You can paste text into their platform, and this can be a note or notes. This can be an outline, or this can actually be full text. You could generate from a one-line prompt. So similar to the way that Beautiful.ai does, the difference here is they cap the length of that prompt to 500 characters or less. So the prompt that I created in ChatGPT would not work in this. So that's why I actually ended up coming in here and asking for a shorter one. And so this was a refined, much more succinct prompt that I ultimately ended up using. The third way is that you can import a file or a URL. So say, for example, you have a Google Docs file, or you have a website that you want to, say, for example, you want to do a PowerPoint presentation or a slide presentation about your business, and you take your URL from your website. You can plug it in here for it to create the presentation for you. So I thought that that was pretty interesting. So I'm gonna, because I have the prompt here, I'm gonna copy this prompt, and then I'm gonna come back over here, and we're gonna continue with generate from prompt. So here are, again, it also provides you with some really short ones, but you can do this. So I can create a prompt just from doing this. Again, here's where it's different from Beautiful.ai. One of the ways that it's different is that you can do a presentation, you can do a web page, and you can create a document. And I'll talk about that a little bit later. So we'll just leave this at presentation, and then you can click here for generate outline. I'm not going to do that. Well, actually, why not? I wasn't going to do it at first because I didn't want to use up any more credits, but you can see here that the first thing that it does is it provides you with an outline, and it's giving you a total of 10 cards for this outline. You can add cards if you think that this isn't sufficient, and you can get rid of cards if you want to. From there, you can then choose the amount of text that you want on a card, and think of a card as a slide. So as a slide deck. So you can say that you want short sentences, you want medium, or you want detailed. So if you wanted brief, you could click on brief. The image source, do you want it to be automatic? Automatically select the best image type for each image. Do you want to search the internet for your images, or do you want AI to create or generate original images and graphics with AI? So that is up to you, whichever one it is that you want to choose. You then even have the ability to select the style of it, whether you want it to be 3D, if you want it to be photorealistic, if you want it to be, however. This part is unfamiliar to me, but it's based, it sounds like, on the subscription that you have. So obviously, if there isn't a purple button saying something, then that means that you can get it for free, I'm presuming. So this is set automatically to this one, which says fastest model with good quality, but so does that one. This is professional quality, people, faces, and text. Google's faster model, good for detailed instructions. So it's all about, I guess, at the end of the day, what do you need? So I'm going to leave it at the default. Not sure what the advanced mode would give you. Oh, so under advanced mode, you can then say, who's this for? So who's your target audience? So you could say, like for me, it's solopreneurs and small business owners who are uncomfortable using video. And then you can select your tone. Do you want it to be professional, conversational, technical, inspirational, humorous? So I'll do conversational. The output language is going to be English. I do want to use the AI images. I'm going to leave that Flux Fast 1.1. And then for the format, again, this is where this is different than Beautiful.ai, because we're doing a presentation. But if you wanted to do, say, for example, a carousel post for social media, you could select document, and I'll show you the end result of what that looks like and all the different things you would need to do. So I'm going to leave this at presentation, and then I'm going to click on continue. From there, the next step that you need to do is you have to pick your style or your theme, I should call it. So you can choose, do you want a dark theme, a light theme, professional, colorful? So let's say that I don't necessarily, well, no, I want it to be professional and I want it to be dark. So let's say this is what I've been picking a lot lately. You know what? Let's go with a light. So let's go with this one. And then you can see what it looks like here. And then you can, let's choose that one. I'll switch it up. So once you've gotten your theme, you can then click on generate. And it's pretty quick in terms of how quickly it's going to start putting the cards together. And it's not only selecting images, but it's also crafting the content, the text that it's going to put in there. Once it's done this, you do have the ability to go through your presentation and swap out things. So you could swap all of these out if you want. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm actually going to show you one that I've done already, but you can select. You can go over here if you wanted to duplicate this card, if you wanted to copy the link, or if you wanted to export the card individually, you could do that. If you wanted to delete the card, you certainly can do that as well. If you want to edit with AI, you can make it longer, you can make it shorter, you can improve, you can fix grammar. All of this is also available on Beautiful.ai. But you can see for all of these different things, it's taking away credits from your overall credit. So you know, obviously you're going to have a good amount of credits to get started with. It's up to you to decide whether or not that's something that you would need to do. So if you wanted to say, for example, try a different layout, did it do that? I can't remember if it didn't look like it switched anything. So let's go over here to Smart, because there's also tools over here that you can select. No, because this is the header one. So if I wanted to, actually, let's go here. If I wanted to change the images, let's see. All right, so there it switched it. It probably did switch it the last time. It just was so subtle I didn't notice. So you could swap it out for something like this if you wanted. I don't need to add in any notes. The notes would be if you're working with a team. So you can, if you wanted, you could swap this out as well. You could, for over here, you could, if I remember correctly, change your layout. So if instead of bullets, you wanted text boxes, you could do that. If you wanted icons with texts, you could do that. And then you would have to find the icons, image with text, then you'd have to find the images. So let's just do text boxes. I kind of like that. So again, you would have the ability to alter all of these things. And then once you approved it and you liked what you were seeing, you could then do click on present so that you can see what it looks like. And with present mode, you can change the slides with the arrows on your computer. It does not, even though you can kind of see over here which slide you're on, if you click it with your mouse, it doesn't work. And then when it comes to the last slide, if you hit it again, it doesn't go anywhere. So once you are finished with that, you can come back to the screen and then you can edit all cards with AI if that's something that you want to do. Or you can click over here and you can go to export. So let's say this is perfect the way that you wanted it. You can go to export and it allows you to export as a PDF, export to PowerPoint, and you can then also export as a PNG. Now, the way that this works with the presenting, as you see, you'd still have to be connected to the internet in order to present if you wanted to do this as a slide presentation. So if you're remote and you're doing it at a live event, you would need to be connected to the internet in order for you to do that. You can share by just sharing the link if that's something that you want to do. And then you can also collaborate with team members if that's something that you want to do as well. You can embed this into your website by copying the code, and then you can publish to a website. And I'm not going to do that right now. The other thing that I wanted to show you is that you can go to page setup. And say, for example, you've decided now that you want to, let me make sure that I can do this. You want to change it from a web or a PowerPoint slide presentation to a social media post. You just come in here and you change the card size. So I'm doing, the one I selected is good for Instagram and for LinkedIn, but you could do a square, which would be good for well, it's good for any, you can use this wherever you want it. So if you notice that it just immediately resized it. This is where it differentiates from Beautiful.ai, because Beautiful.ai does not give you the ability to take your presentation and then reformat it for either image posts or a carousel presentation. So let's say, yeah, let's leave it at 5.4. So we're going to leave that as is. If we wanted to bleed this out, we can do that so that it goes wider for full bleed. And yeah, so we're going to leave that as is. And then you would just come back up here and then you would export. So in this instance, actually, if we wanted it to be a carousel, we would export it as a PDF. If we wanted them individually as PNGs, we would then just download all of them as PNGs. And then you would just use them individually. Or if there was only one or two of them that you wanted, you could go into each. And I think I showed you already how you could individually export these. I don't know if I can stop this. I may not be able to. So let's just go to another slide. So this is another one that I had done earlier. This is if you create it as a website. So it's, I wouldn't interpret this as a website, but I guess if you wanted to, you could use it as a website. So here's the images that you could just download, and we'll just save that so that we can have it. And then this is the PDF of an earlier version that I did. And so you could then upload this directly onto LinkedIn, because if you're familiar, LinkedIn only allows you to do the carousel ads as a PDF. So it has to be a document that you're inserting, and then you would be able to post these that way. So I actually like both of these, but for presentations, I'm personally going to stick with Beautiful.ai. But if I were just starting and I knew that I wanted things more automated and I didn't really want to have something that necessarily looked uniform, or I had a style of the way I wanted my presentations to look, and I just wanted things to be more automated, and I wanted to have the flexibility of creating not only PowerPoint or slide presentations, PowerPoint's becoming a verb now. But I, not only did I want to have slides, but I want to have a little bit more flexibility and be able to turn my slide presentation into a carousel ad. Or if I wanted to, let's come back here and let's go back home. Let's create. You could either from importing it from a file or from just having raw text. Let me try to find something that I can use. So this again is something that I got from ChatGPT. So let's, no, let's keep the quotes there. So I'm just going to put this notes in. I'm going to go to document, and I'm going to go to continue, because you don't have to create your carousels from a presentation. You can either choose a Google Docs file that you have, use your URL, or you can just paste text in there. So if I wanted brief, I'm going to leave this information there. Informative, encouraging. Yeah, that's fine. And I do want that. And the format is going to be that. And let's see. No, let's do standard card. And I'm not going to give it any more. Let's say that I want this to be no more than 5 cards. I can then continue, and you can see here it's also telling you that just to do that took 40 credits. And then here again, you're going to have to, because this is the free version, we have to select our theme. Let me see what this looks like. I don't care for that one. I'm attracted to purple for some reason. I've always liked purple, but purple is not one of my brand colors, believe it or not. So yeah, that's fine. All right, that's fine. So we're going to generate, and again, it's going to do the same thing that it did when it was doing the slide presentation. And the only difference is this is going to specifically be 5 cards, because that's what I asked it to do. And it's going to create these 5 cards and it's done. So again, if I want to add any additional cards, I can always do that. So it's finding your niche on YouTube, stand out in 2025, blah, blah, blah. So to find your, so we could say, for example, we're going to leave this. If we wanted to have a top layout, so we could add some sort of an image there, or maybe to the sides, whether it's the right or to the left. So if we wanted to do that, we could certainly do that. And then here we could edit the accent if that's what we wanted to continue to do. Or is it here? No, it's under here. We could add an image. So if we wanted to add an image, it could choose, it's going to take this information and then pop it into AI. Is this representative of, I'm not sure if I would want to do that. So let's look for another, try a different layout, add an image. Let's see if it'll find something a little bit different. Some of these keywords, yeah, that one's better. Yeah, that one's better. And then you can just go down the line. And then when it comes to this, you can change. Do you want it to be a timeline? Do you want it to be arrows? Do you want it to be stats? Do you want it to be text boxes? So you have the ability to make all of these types of changes. So if you want it to be bullet points, you could do that. You can go back to the timeline. I don't know. I can't think of. And then here you can say the direction. Do you want it to be down or do you want it to be going across? Do you want it to have numbers or do you want it to have no numbers? So that's all flexible. You can add in an image here as well, and you can do this for all of the cards. And again, once you're finished, and then you have all of these capabilities here. You have card templates, so you can change the way, is it this one? I'm not sure which one I'm on. So let's see if this one will, can I do that? Is that a updated feature? Interesting. I don't know why it won't change. Or maybe it's because it is already there. But you can choose smart layouts and you can decide what it is that you want it to look like. You can add in text, whether it's header or smaller types of text. You can insert video, and I think I have an example to show you that. So it can be video from a URL, it could be a Loom video, a YouTube video, a Vimeo video, a Wistia, TikTok, whatever. And then you can also embed a web page, an app, or any of these, which is pretty impressive. And then you can do any sort of charting or diagrams or things of that nature. So that's pretty impressive. And then do I have an example? I'm looking to see if I had an example of, I did have one, but I don't have it anymore. But you can easily add in video in here, and you can do video from a YouTube, or you can do your own custom video. But what it does not do, and let me show you what that one would look like, is if you say, for example, let's add in a blank card and let's put in a web page. You have to put in the URL just like you did on Beautiful.ai, but I don't even think this one worked at all. It does not bring in, as you can see here, it does not bring in the, and even if you, the full web page, because even if you just did this, this is all that it does. So it just kind of scrapes the website and brings in, you know, a thumbnail, a generic thumbnail image, and then it gives you some copy as opposed to what you saw with Beautiful.ai, where you could actually see my website and I was able to scroll on it. So that is a huge difference between the two. But like you saw, you can, if you're doing this for carousel or for social media posts, you can definitely easily download these, whether it's individually or in bulk, and be able to upload them to your social media platforms of choice. Now let's finally talk about the difference with pricing. So with Beautiful.ai, Beautiful.ai has a free trial. I believe it's 7 days. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it's 7 days. So their lowest price point is their Pro for individuals, but they bill at an annual rate, and it's billed at $144 for the year, but it's the equivalent of paying $12 a month. Their teams, if you need that, is annually at $40 per user. Monthly, it's at $50 per user. So it's a little pricier, but this is for people that are really serious about presentations and they do them on a regular basis, and they need to have the ease and flexibility of creating presentations on the fly, as well as if you want to keep things sort of in the theme of the way that you'd normally do them. It is my preferred platform. Gamma has a free capability or free subscription where you just get the basic features. You don't pay any money per month. You get 400 credits at sign up, which indicates to me that they don't renew. So I would assume you have to then buy more credits, or you have to sign up for a monthly subscription. It gives you basic AI generation, and you can only generate 10 cards at a time. So if you need to have a presentation that has 20 slides, and I think you saw my presentations have more than 10, you can't use the free version. Also, the free version, if you don't mind, comes with the made with or in Gamma.app watermark on it. For the paid version, and I believe this is yearly, it's $8 per seat per month, billed at $96 annually. So it is cheaper than Beautiful.ai. It has 10,000 AI tokens per generation. Not really sure what that means. Generates up to 15 cards. So again, the total number, I'm not sure about that, but the total number of slides here is now 15 as opposed to 10. So that's interesting. And then if you need more than 10, which I would, and need more than 15, which I would, you can go to the Pro version, which is $15 per seat per month. If you need to pay for this on a monthly basis, the Plus is $10 per seat, and the Pro is $20 per seat. So this would probably be what I would need based on what I use Beautiful.ai at. And so based on that, it actually is more expensive for me on Gamma, but it does offer at least one other capability that I would definitely use. I would not use the website capability, because that I'm not really sure how I would use that and why I would want to use that. So there's, I'd have to think about that for a minute. But I welcome and invite you guys to try them both. I would love to get your feedback. Let me see if there's been any questions. I would love to get your feedback in reference to whether or not you think that this is an option for you. Maybe, maybe not. And then other than that, if you guys have any questions whatsoever, please post them in the comments below. And know that I have a 3-day video challenge that's coming up next year. I'm starting to promote it from now. I know that when it comes towards the end of the year, not too many people want to do anything, but it's going to be from January 8th to the 10th. And it's a 3-day video journey that I invite you to sign up for, so you can get registered at the site that's on the screen right now. So I thank you as per usual for watching. If you have any questions about the challenge that I have coming up, or about any of these platforms, or If there's an AI tool that you would like to see me sort of play around with and talk about, please feel free to post them in the comments. If you're on my email list, send them to me by email. It doesn't have to necessarily be specifically a video creation or a video editing app, although I don't mind those. But since we are now in the world of AI and we're incorporating it into every aspect of everything that we do, I would love to know what tools you're using or that you want me to check out for you. And I am going to be continuing this theme of looking at different AI tools throughout November. And I will be off for the month of December, so I won't be doing any live streams in the month of December. All right, so take care, and I'll see you guys next time.